Say you may, say.
Hey, my friends, this is Covey, and I'm here to talk about a news article that's blasted across everywhere. A whole province in Canada, Quebec, is to eventually ban pitbulls. Public security minister says. A travesty of accident proportion, horrifying. A woman was mauled to death by what appeared to be, as they say over and over again, appeared to be pitbull. Let's talk about that. If you've ever had a conversation about pitbulls, then you've probably heard of pitbull bite statistics. Statistics that at face value may seem concerning. Statistics that have been used to affect public policy at times, labeling all certain dogs of certain type as inherently vicious and dangerous upon birth. The thing is, it's pretty easy to make up stats that support a predetermined conclusion. Self-proclaimed experts can manipulate numbers and then use like-minded colleagues to peer review their work, thus claiming authenticity and ultimately attempting to influence public policy. It's a trick as old as organized government itself. Create a boogeyman and then legislate the crap out of it. There are three types of lies in this world. Lies, damn lies, and statistics. Mark Twain. In order to look at any issue objectively, you have to first define the terms of the parameters you're working with. You have to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples, and more importantly, that you even know what an apple is when you see one. It is commonly accepted that Pitbull is not a breed, but a loosely defined and general category. Definition of this category varies depending upon the source. Any blocky-headed dog, or any mix of breeds that is between 35 and 100 pounds, and upwards of 30 individual dog breeds may currently fall into this broad category through the use of the visual breed identification. Well, how are pit bulls identified, you ask? Visual breed identification, or the extremely scientific process of tilting your head 30 degrees to the right or left and guessing based on a few basic traits and the inability to automatically identify the dog as something else, is how pit bulls are identified. Based upon the observation of a handful of variable breed-associated physical traits, such as coat color, body size, skull shape, whether the ears are erect or floppy, these physical traits are found in many different breeds and are controlled by approximately 50 to roughly 20,000 genes that create the dog. In order for a number to be a statistic, it has to estimate a true value of a specific data. The data has to be definable, and the parameters have to be clear. One of the most influential advocates for the eradication of pit bulls is an academic fraud. Merritt Clifton is prominent, not simply because he has been making noises for decades, but because he uniquely claims to be a rigorous statistician, a scholarly expert. People who hate pit bulls lean on this man's punitive expertise, and he is a charlatan. Another, Colleen Lynn, is a menace. She's a web designer who was once bitten by a dog and has been on a vicious campaign to eliminate the pit bull type ever since. Still, she makes no pretense to her academic credibility. Merritt Clifton, on the other hand, very much pretends to be the eminent scholar and is truly dangerous. Here's a statement from Merritt Clifton. Please note that I do not participate in the Kennel Club breed name game, where some breed is in fact a Mastiff Pit Bull mix, such as a Bull Mastiff or a Cane Corso. I list it as a Pit Bull type dog / pit mix. Please note that I'm counting deaths by Pit Bull / pit mix attack. Whether or not cars killed the targets before the pit bulls could bite them to death. The two children who ran into traffic would have been alive today if the pit bulls hadn't initiated an attack on them. If you aren't going to play the breed name game to make the numbers up, then you can't use those same numbers to play the breed blame game either. But let's pretend that all validity wasn't thrown out the window just yet. Where do these numbers come from, after all? Dog bite statistics are based off media reports found online where pit bull type attacks are proven to be reported thousands of times more often than dog bite stories involving other breeds. Hardly a scientific, objective, or accurate way to collect information, and in fact, there is a proven bias of overreporting when it comes to dogs labeled as pit bulls. The Google research is then taken and compared with media reports involving individual specific dog breeds, like a Labrador Retriever. This was obtained by the Franklin County Department of Health in Ohio for the city of Reynoldsburg, which has enforced breed-specific legislation against pit bulls for 13 years. If we applied this logic elsewhere, the argument would sound something like this. Domestic U.S.-made vehicles are unsafe for the public and should be banned because there are more Dodge, Jeep, Ford, Chevy, and Lincoln crashes each year in the U.S. than Honda crashes. Said by nobody. Ever. Which is why places like State Farm Insurance, the largest insurance company who collects more data than the U.S. government and makes policy decisions simply based on risks and underwriting, does not discriminate against the loosely defined group of breeds. Decisions are made on a case-by-case basis for those instances. State Farm spokeswoman Heather Paul told HuffPost, "Pit bulls in particular are often misidentified when the bite incident occurs, so reliable bite statistics related to the dog breeds are unreliable and serve no purpose." Neither does the White House, Centers for Disease Control, American Veteran Medical Association, American Bar Association, ASPCA, American Kennel Club, American Pet Dog Trainers Association, International Association for Animal Behaviors Consultants, American Animal Hospital Association, and the list goes on and on. Now that we know breed-specific information is unreliable, what can we look at? The U.S. National Safety Council has collected data on your likelihood of being killed by a dog of any breed, as well as your likelihood of being killed by other risks. The data is defined and the parameters are clear. In 2014, the U.S. National Safety Council showed that your chances of dying by a dog bite are 1 in 116,448. That's just a number though. To put the number into perspective, your chances of dying by legal execution are pretty similar, 1 in 127,717. You are in fact twice as likely to die by a hornet, bee, or wasp sting than a dog, 1 in 55,764. Perspectives, people. Maybe more striking is the fact that you are far more likely to die from eating a hot dog, choking on the inhalation of food, than being attacked by an actual dog. Death by real dog, 1 in 116,448. Death by a hot dog, 1 in 3,375. Perspectives. According to the CDC, only 1.8% of all dog bites treated in emergency departments result in actual hospitalization. When a dog attacks, a child between 5 and 9 is statistically most likely to be bitten. As a parent, I can only imagine the horror and feeling helpless while your child is being attacked or bitten. When a pit bull type dog is involved in a bite incident, it is instantly used as a way to drive traffic to websites, as the comment sections is flooded by people screaming and yelling, why all pit bulls are good, why all pit bulls are bad. In the midst of this mudslinging, we missed a critical opportunity to educate children on dog bite prevention, to advocate for effective dangerous dog ordinances that are breed neutral, but give animal control officers the tools to do their job and keep communities safe, and to provide spay-neuter assistance and education to the public. The 3 main suggestions for Center of Disease Control and others offer to reduce dog bites and create safer communities. We will never live in a world without dog bites or risks, nor will we ever live in a world without irresponsible people. We can, though, live in a world where dogs are judged as individuals and by their actions rather than their appearance. The owners are held accountable for the actions of their dogs. Thankfully, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the city was wise enough to see this and took those ordinances away, and they focus on dangerous dog, and I appreciate that, thankfully, to my beautiful dog, Muggy. bless you and all those your heart touches.